Hello, I am Kyler Livingston, and I am speaking to some of my formal teachers, meaning that these are some of my teachers who may have had me in 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, maybe some elementary school teachers. So, to start things off, I am going to talk about my past life. Now, I left for Tennessee when in mid 2021, right before the school year ended in California, which was about maybe a month or two left, maybe 6 weeks at the most. So yeah, I kind of have a lot to talk about. So bear with me. This video is going to be 15 minutes or more long since I have to talk about my middle school life and my excuse me, my Tennessee life. So, to start things off, for those of you who may have had me in middle school, I remember, what was it, April 19th was my last day in California. And, yeah, as I said, April 19th, 2021 was my last day in California. 10:47 a.m., 22 seconds. We handed in the keys to the real estate agent. Now, excuse if I'm talking kind of fast because I'm almost 15 right now. Some of you teachers haven't seen me ever since I was, what, 13 or below, maybe 14. So, excuse if I sound different, or you may not recognize me. Anyway, here's where I left off at. So we handed in the keys to the real estate agent. And yeah, we left at 10:47 o'clock in the morning, AM, not PM. We wouldn't leave at PM. Good God. Um, And that's when I started to think back at all the moments I've had in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Well, not 8th, 7th, because I left when I was in 7th grade at the time. I am a freshman in high school, aka ninth grade. I'm currently doing pretty well. I have selected a couple CTE classes that I'm taking. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to beep. I'm taking Maintenance and Light Repair 1, JROTC, which, if you don't know what JROTC is, it's helping your military career. So if you want to go into the military, then you can kind of get a head start out of all other recruits. So, I'm probably going to be saying so a lot too, since I kind of have worked on how I speak a bit. You know, like not saying like 5 billion times. Not, sorry, I'm trying to focus on this game here, but my apologies. Not really fighting people because I did get into a couple of fights here in my past school career. Uh, so basically, after I left, about 6 days later, I arrived in Tennessee, and yeah, I started my new school. What, a week later, and I really liked it. You know, I got to experience going back to school in person. It it really felt it, sorry, I'm really starved for words here. It really felt good, you know? Just going back to school in person after being online pretty much a whole year of 7th grade, I think I was ready for the switch. And even before I left California, I was ready to switch. But my parents told me no. Ooh, that was a bad hit. My parents told me no, that you're not going to switch. So, after I was told no, that's basically they came up with the idea of moving to Tennessee what, a week ago? Not a week ago, sorry. Last year, actually in 2020. 2020 is when they decided to move out here to Tennessee. Well, is really when they decided to think about moving back to Tennessee. And, you know, life's been okay here. I get to experience not so high gas prices. Everything here is just so laid back, so calm. A lot of the teachers here don't really give homework as much as I got in California, because I remember coming home with homework every day, and I just wasn't, I did not appreciate that. So, I really did not appreciate homework. I may be repeating myself a couple times because, I'm trying to focus on this game. I really shouldn't be doing that. I really should put some gameplay in the background with just a voiceover. Uh, yeah, that's where we're at right now. Dang it. That's where we're at right now. So, I finished my 7th grade year, and I checked my report card, and I got a 32 in math. So basically, I failed math, but I was still promoted to 8th grade. So, every 4th of July, well, not every, well, starting from 2021, we have made it a tradition to go up and spend 4th of July with my grandparents. My grandparents who live here in Tennessee, not the ones that moved with us, but we go up to a place called Townsend. Townsend is a place up in an area called the Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountains is a really beautiful place. I would recommend you go check it out whenever you do move back here or even tour here yourself. It's really good. We rented a cabin, and let's just say the cabin wasn't great. It was on a really steep embankment. I'm talking about a 60-degree climb. And since we brought my grandparents here, they couldn't really move around a lot. And that's kind of bad. That's kind of bad knowing. So, on the last, I suppose, the last day, which was July 5th, I believe, was when we moved out of the cabin. My grandma ended up falling down a short embankment, which is pretty well far. Which, yeah, it's pretty well far. And the only thing that saved her was her backpack. Her backpack is what saved her. And the reason why is because she tumbled down. Is because she tumbled down the cliff, and she had this little makeup mirror in her, I would guess, in her backpack. And, it wasn't really that big, but it provided enough protection so that way, I'll put it this way. If she would have fell down on her back with no backpack, she probably wouldn't be with us today because that embankment is large and it's really, really steep. And she also ended up smashing her knee on a rock. And she didn't break the knee, but she did do quite a bit of damage to it, I will admit. So after that tragic accident, we moved back into our little rental house that we had. And after the rental house, we quick break. I'm going to say that I'm gonna try and make this video as short as possible. I don't want this video to be more than 15 minutes because I don't want to keep you guys here for 15 minutes. But if you want to sit and listen, it's fine. I really don't care how long you listen to, but I'm just telling you my important and what you guys have missed out on. So after we moved into our rental and we were about to move into my grandparents' house. My grandparents' house was bought in March of 2021, and it was a pretty nice house. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty decent house, single floor house. It was not it was not in the best location since we do have a highway right behind us, but I will say super fancy. Decked out head to toe with fancy furniture. It's got a white attire to it because that's what everybody's looking for now these days. The house wasn't really that expensive. It was in the high 400,000s, which is normal. Now houses here are getting close to 600,000 since people from California are moving here, and gas prices are going to start going up. So after we moved into their house and moved out of the rental, I started my 8th grade year, and I think it was August 9th was our first day. And if you don't know, we start in August, so August, and then we go till May 24th. That's when Tennessee gets out. So after that, after I started my 8th grade year, I'm trying to think of all the details that happened here. Sorry, I forgot to act like that. We ended up we ended up buying a house of our own. My parents bought a house of our own about 15 minutes away from my grandparents. So we bought that house, and my dad, I think in no, it was in. I'm trying to think of my dates here. I'm thinking of too many things at once. Uh, Bought our house in. Oh wait, no, I'm on my dad. Sorry. My dad got his job in. Well, he went off for training because he applied as a probation officer, and that requires, I believe, 8 weeks or more of training with time off on the weekends where he would come home. So about a week before Christmas is when he graduated. He went to crap. Yeah, he went to a basic training early. I think it was the 1st of December is when he went. It was the first Monday in September. That's what I'll put it as. He went there and he came back. My parents decided to go stay. My parents and my sister decided to go stay in our brand new house for the first time. Well, luck was about to run out because there was a huge storm that was supposed to come that night. And oh boy, when they mean storm, they mean storm. There's no playing around. So after the storm hit, well, I should say during the storm, there was a lot of wind, and we do get tornadoes here. I'm not lying. We were super close to getting one, but this was about the time that Mayfield, Kentucky was hit. So this was what, maybe mid December, close to Christmas. So after that, the rotation went basically a funnel cloud, went right past our house. I was at my grandparents' house. So I really didn't experience much, but I do remember watching TV and the tornado touchdown in Livingston, which is south. Yeah, it's no, it's east. It's east of us. It ended up touching down there. Man, he really knew my Sammys. He touched down there. Did I say he? The tornado touched down there and ended up destroying Livingston. It did destroy too much of Livingston. It probably just touched down in an open field. Then there was one that crossed from Tennessee into Kentucky. Now, I watched that one on the radar pretty much the entire time. And that was a really scary experience. It was pretty much my first ever experience with a tornado. And it wasn't great. So after that scare, we finally moved into our house. And all was good, all was good. And graduated from 8th grade. Had a very good Christmas. I really enjoyed it. Graduated from 8th grade. Went on to high school. And my high school started August 1st. And that's pretty much where it brings us up to. Pretty much where it brings us up to right now is high school. Now, I can say that high school is very different from middle school. Mainly because, like 8 classes. I've never had 8 classes before. How many? Never had 8 classes before, and I will be the first to admit 8 classes. I may have had 8 classes in when I went to Biga Wilson, but it just doesn't really work out for me. And there's options to remove classes, like you don't have to take CTE classes, but I do it for extra credits. That's what I do it for. And I mean, it's fine. So one of the things we have, and now I'm going to start talking about like what our high school has. So our high school offers pretty much anything, I think except for animals, like vets and whatnot. They may offer something else, but I doubt it. Let's see. One, I can name a few CTE classes. Like they offer, what do they offer? They offer auto shop class. They offer, I know they offer ROTC, robotics, college level robots, which is fine. They offer construction, which is, I heard construction is really good. Yeah, construction. I think that's it. Oh, teaching. They offer teaching, which I almost considered taking, but I never really wanted to do that. I'm currently, I can name all my classes in order. I'm taking Maintenance and Light Repair 1, English 1, which I have a hard time in English all of a sudden. And I know Miss Tripless didn't really teach us much. Well, I don't want to sound rude here, but I feel like whenever I had Miss Tripless, I did not have a good time. I just, for some reason, never really had a good time in her class. English 1, physical science. Sorry for the long pause. English, physical science, which our teacher is really good and is getting us ready for chemistry next year. Because our sophomore year we take chemistry and ah, whoop, damn it, sorry. That because English, sorry, sophomore year we take chemistry. I mean, it's chemistry's fine. Chemistry's okay, you know. Another thing another thing I'm taking is Algebra 1. Now, I know Miss Triplett didn't teach us Algebra 1, and I never understand algebra at all. I have a very hard time in algebra. Algebra 1, World History and Geography, which I am acing. I am acing World History and Geography. Then I go to ROTC, which is junior ROTC. Basically, it's military but junior. And then Art 1, which is a fine arts class, which I apparently need to graduate. Yeah, I learned the hard way when I tried to switch out of that class, and they said, oh, you need a fine arts class to graduate. So, yeah, that's currently where I'm at right now. I will try and see if I can get more teachers involved, you know. Definitely, I haven't seen, one of the worst parts about moving out of California is I had to leave like all my friends, all my teachers, and I had a pretty good relation with some of my teachers. Some of them were willing to support me. I even interacted with a few. You know, some of the teachers, like everything has changed ever since COVID. I'm not gonna lie. Some of my teachers either just left or moved to a different school. I can remember my 6th and 7th grade year of being at B. Gale Wilson. We had two principals, and both of those were named Mr. Nelson and Miss Dinwiddie. Oh boy, I remember both, and they were okay. They weren't exactly the best, but they did their job all right. I can. There was a few teachers I had that I really liked. Like Jamie Van Wart or Mr. Van Wart. Which, by the way, if you're watching, hello. I just told you everything about me. He was definitely really interested on what I was doing and he will genuinely support you. He likes to know what you're doing. Like about your life, where you where you came from, what you do, and that's fine. Like, I love telling people about what I do. And sometimes I just wish I could go back. I will be going back March, and I hope I get to take the opportunity to see those teachers, which I mean is fun, you know? I like interacting with some of my old teachers and my old friends. Of course, they're now in high school, so what's the gist? What's the gist when you don't even get friends to interact with? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's basically that wraps it up. We're up to modern day. I may have left out a few things, mainly because I did not want to, go over 15 minutes, and I already did. So yeah, that's wraps it up. Uh, I would love to hear back from you and take it easy now and bye bye.